Hi, hello. Welcome to the latest Welcome Review. Just finished reading The Pink Marine by Greg Cope something. I forget. I'll put it here. 262 pages. Released in 2016. It took me 13 days to read. I'll put the book stats up here. I got notes. I condensed 6 pages of notes to front and back. So, it's going to be an interesting... I don't know how to plan for it. I could have done some preparation for this, but you know what? Condensing this all was enough work doing this. So we're going to freestyle it as always. It's a story about a gay fella, joined the Marines in 1979 before Don't Ask, Don't Tell was repealed. In 2011 by Obama. Barack Hussein Obama. No, I'll edit that out. But yeah, it was like illegal to be gay back then. Back when he joined, he's a little fella. He joined at 114 pounds. I think I joined at about 115 or 20 pounds. Same weight, same skinny white boy. I don't know how tall this guy is, but I was probably 6 foot back then. But yeah, it's his story of joining the Marines, accepting himself, proving to himself that he's tough. You know, he can do anything a straight guy could do. It doesn't go much into... He goes into his... I mean, there's not much history. The dude's 18 when he joined, so... You know, in his teens, he had experimented and didn't have any support at home with his preferences, which understandable. You know, he ends up meeting some older folks that kind of took him under his wing for a little bit, but it's kind of weird in teens, right? Anyway. But yeah, I thought I would compare notes. He was in boot camp for the Marines. I was in basic training for the Air Force. You don't call it boot camp in the Air Force. We have MTIs, military training instructors, and I was in 2001 actually. So, what is that? 12 years difference. But yeah, he gets to the story of why he joined, how he joined. He went with his buddy Dale on the buddy system, which was a thing when I was there. If you go with a friend, they'll keep you grouped up and basic so you can be with each other. His buddy Dale, he's badass. They also made a TV series out of this, which I enjoyed, except for a couple of over-the-top parts, but that's television. The series was a little different than the book. They invented a fight drama with him and his buddy Dale, which never happened. Dale was, and is, very supportive of his pal, Cope. But yeah, I took my first plane ride ever to San Antonio. You know, he gets in the book about how they showed up late at night and they stopped the bus. The drill sergeant jumps off. They did the same thing with us. Get out of the bus, get in line, and get in processed. See, it's very hectic. I was 18 as well when I joined. I wouldn't say I was ever scared, because it was the Air Force, you know what I mean? But it's very intimidating. Everyone's bigger than you. Everyone's louder than you. Let's see, where was I? He talked about getting his first haircut, getting his hair shaved. We got our heads shaved too. They made us pay for it though. I don't think they made them pay for it. Everything that we got about his haircut, he went to getting his uniforms. We had to pay for ours. He had a part in there about the drill instructors aren't allowed to hit you, which I don't know, because I met some Marines when I was where was I? Fort Leonard Wood, transportation training, and the Marines there. I would eat lunch with their bosses because I didn't have to eat with the tech school students. But yeah, they're pretty vicious. They can be vicious when they want to be. Yeah, what else is in my notes here? Talks about the food there, which I assume was disgusting. And it got me thinking. Best military food I have ever had. It was always Army. When I was in Kuwait, we would go across the base at Ali Assalim to go to the Army side. I think it was called either LSA or the KS. I can't remember. I think it was the LSA. But they had Army food over there, which was good. And when I was in... Where was I? Where were we? When I was in the UAE at Al Dhafra, they had an Army tent where they would eat, and they had the bed. I mean, they had food like I would pay for. It was so good. They always had the best breakfast. They made real eggs. I think they had real bacon too, because I want to say there was a rule, depending on the country, you couldn't have real bacon because of their rules. But yeah, talked about the food, talked about the dorm life. India really is just like 50 dudes in a room. It's just a big room. Gotta get real close with your bunkmate. I was on the bottom bunk. He talked about the Foot Locker, which you saw from Full Metal Jacket. I wonder if that's the same thing. But we didn't have Foot Lockers. We had like actual gym lockers. No Foot Lockers. Let's see what else. We'll edit this out. He talked about making the beds. That was one of our big things. And you know, all this stuff seems silly, right? Make your beds. Fold your clothes. Put your stuff away. But you really do have to, like, build these guys. You have to break them down and build them back up. Make them killers, right? And that's the same thing with all the branches. I would assume you have to work as a team. One person fails, you all have to face the consequences. In his case, in the Marine Corps, it was a little different. I don't remember many shenanigans when I was in. She always digs over here. I think I'm getting off track. Let me see. But yeah, he talks about making the bed. You have to make it super tight, and we got good at that. He talked about the wool blanket, which blew my mind because we were still using those wool blankets, and they are disgusting. Disgusting. And when you would make your bed, it would send the little wool particles everywhere. So now you're inventing work for yourself because you have to clean all that up. But yeah, his drill sergeants were always tearing them down and making them redo it. We got to the point where you would slide in your bed, right? As gently as you can to not mess it up as much as possible. And like you teach yourself how to sleep on your back and not moving, so you don't wreck your bed and have to remake it in the morning. We never got our dorm or anything terrorized like these guys did, which is nice. But yeah, they seem to have the same duties. He was the scribe. They call it the scribe. I don't even remember the real name for ours. We called it the house mouse. But somebody said that out loud once, and you ain't supposed to call him that, so you got in trouble for that. He talked about shining his boots, which I had to learn how to do that for the first time. And you get real good at it because you have a ton of downtime. You march around all day going to appointments, you got into that, and you march to food. Then you march to your next appointment. Then you march here, and then when you're done, you just stay busy, right? Fold your shirts, shine your boots. We used to shine ours outside on the patio next to the payphones. You remember those? They weren't allowed to use the phone at all. We got to use calling cards. Oh, what else was I? He talked about how they took group showers, which is what you do first night in. You got a shower, right? So it's a room, just a square room with shower heads everywhere, like at a gym. But instead of taking an individual one, you did a big circle around the room under each stall, walking at the same time. That's what we had to do too. They got a little more, I don't want to say intimate, a little more touchy. I don't think I would have appreciated another dude washing my back, but that's how it is there. He had a comment in there about, you do not want these guys to know your name, which I agree with. Under the radar, stay quiet, do what they tell you to do, stay quiet, and do what they tell you to do. I mean, that's pretty simple, right? He had a story about adjusting his glasses, his big, dark, wide frame glasses. We used to call those the BCGs. You know what that stands for? Birth control glasses. You know why. 'Cause you ain't, I won't get into that. We'll keep this PG. He got shin splints when he was exercising there. We had a couple guys, I remember a couple guys, even in real Air Force, some people, somehow the same people all the time would get shin splints right around PT testing time. Imagine that. Still don't, to this day, don't know what it is. Little chunks of your shin breaking off. Let me turn the page, hold on. Oh no, I don't know how far I just lost. But I was talking about he's intimidated at 18 getting a rifle. And his pay was $400. Mine was $8. Mine ended up $800 when it was all said and done, and it was on the normal paycheck. Let's see. He had a soap party during his time there, which, holy crap, that would not have flown in the Air Force. But it's like, again, Full Metal Jacket. They hold a guy down to his bed because he keeps goofing up, making the squad suffer for it. The platoon, what is a platoon? What is platoon? Squad, Air Force's squadron in flight. I don't know. But yeah, they held that dude down and hit him 40 times. He talked about how excited he was to do the obstacle course. I was super excited too, looking back. It was fun, actually. It wasn't hard. The hardest part was there was a line over a little pond, pool, whatever. And you had to grab it with your legs, hang out with your legs, and pull yourself with your arms. But these dopes would get stuck halfway through, and you'd just be hanging there until they either went forward or fell in the water. But I never got wet, so I was very proud. This got me remembering all my stuff, all my days, because it's 25 years ago. Put a lot of this out of my mind, not on purpose. But we have a dinner appointment tonight, so I will wrap this up here. We'll get back to it tomorrow. Stay tuned. Hi, hello, and welcome back. It's the next day, part 2 of my book review, The Pink Marine. Finished with my notes here. I'll rant and rave and wrap it up. I don't remember where I was, but I marked it at the obstacle course. So he's finished the obstacle course. Tells a story about eating MREs on the ground. We did that. We did that too. I don't know if they had the same kind of MREs we did, but they had what was it? It was this bag you put water in, and it would boil with whatever chemical was on the bottom, so you could put your pouch in there and heat it up. So that's pretty nice. He had a story about having to shave his non-beard. He had like 3 hairs. I did too. Back in the day, you could go up 2 weeks without shaving. So he had to deal with that as well. His buddy Dale was with him non-stop. Talked about his graduation. Talked about his freshly pressed uniforms hanging on the rails of the bunks. Well, we used to do, and we had to do it uniformly, or they wouldn't let us do it. But our lockers had like vents on it. Had 6 of them. So for week 1, it was on the first one. And in week 2, we would all put it up to the second one, if that makes sense. But that's what we did. He got into finishing boot camp and going off to his next training. I remember that. You just finish, and then the next day you're walking across the street to the next tech school. Because I went from Lackland to Lackland to do some electrical training or whatever, but then went to Vandenberg. And yeah, 13 weeks he finished. Ours is only 6. I think it's 8 now. Yeah, good for him. Glad he pushed through it. Glad he made it. I did enjoy this book. It's very superficial, I guess. Surface layer. You know, he doesn't get into too much detail, but just enough to go along on this journey with him. And yeah, total coincidence, but I did not plan on reading this. I didn't plan on reading anything for Pride Month, but happy coincidence. I did read this during Pride Month, so happy Pride Month. Sorry about that. Saw some friendly pups. Well, yeah, happy Pride Month. It's a good book. 4 stars. Would I recommend it to anybody? Yeah, why not? Everyone probably reads faster than I do, so I had to take 2 weeks to do this. The babe probably finished this 2 nights. But yeah, it's a good story. Good look into boot camp. I can't speak for if it's changed or not, because I didn't go in originally to the Marines. And even if I did, this 25 years ago again. So, not sure if much has changed. I think I'm just ranting and raving at this point. Yeah, good book. 4 stars. Thank you for listening. Oh, and before I forget, when I was reading along, it was unlocking a lot of old memories for me. Boot camp or basic training. There was one guy in his book, in his story, named Baker. He's real, not trying to be mean, but he said he was just stupid. He couldn't read, he couldn't write. His recruiter forced all his paperwork for him so he could join. And I remember one guy got recycled, washed back, whatever you call it, over t-shirts. It's like, bro, if you can't figure out how to fold a t-shirt, what are we doing here? So I get it. But they really try their hardest. They really do try their hardest to pass everybody, get everybody through. And that's it. Oh, one more thing. I got my little coin. I brought it for the walk. That's what you get when you finish Warrior Week. Too cool, huh? I think the Marines get their Eagle Globe emblem. What's it called? I'll put it in here. But that's all I got for real. Thank you for listening. Hope you enjoyed it. And okay, bye.